everyone, and welcome to another video. For today's video, I'm going to be doing my Q&A finally. So about a month ago, to celebrate reaching 1,000 followers, I decided to do a Q&A. So I got tons of questions, way more than I was expecting. So today I'm doing part 1 of answering those questions. So the first question is, a character that I would want to set straight or give a piece of my mind. Honestly, the first character that comes to mind would be Juliet from the Shatter Me series. I hated her. I hated her so much, and she just was a horrible, whiny baby, and I know a lot of people really love that series, so I'm not trying to hate on it, but I wanted to smack her in the face so many times. Oh, I would love to have a conversation with that girl, let me tell you. I would have a few things to say. Next question, do you do your own bangs? And yes, I do. Obviously, I don't have them anymore. I'm trying to grow them out. I've had my bangs for years. And while I really like how they look, they're kind of a pain to maintain because I cut them myself and it was just a pain. So I'm trying to grow them out and see how I like them. And I have kind of big eyebrows and I feel like I have a giant forehead because it hasn't seen the light of day for years because it's been covered by bangs. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Bangs or no bangs? Next question. Is having your own channel lived up to what you expected from BookTube? For me, it's so much more fun than I expected. I thought I was going to be super, really bad at this, talking to a camera, and I don't think I am. I was at first. You definitely get more comfortable over time. And I really love the feeling of making videos and getting comments and talking to people about stuff and being able to fangirl. I love it. Next question. What's your favorite thing about making videos? My favorite thing is probably going to be fangirling. I feel like such a dork when I make videos because as I'm filming them, I can just feel myself getting more and more hysterical and excited and fangirly when I talk about things sometimes. I feel like my eyes are just bugging out of my head and I'm getting all crazy and weird and I feel like a dork, but at the same time I love it. And I know that feeling well because I am a huge fangirl. I love things passionately, and when I like something, I get really, really into it. So it's so nice to be able to vent and to talk about this and put it on YouTube and then have people that totally understand and will be like, oh, I get where you're coming from. I mean, I love that. I love it so much. So I got a lot of questions about school, so I'm just going to kind of clump them together. So first of all, I am in college right now, and I am going to school just part-time while I'm working part-time, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to school for yet. Right now, I'm getting all my prerequisites out of the way and working on a transfer degree because I'm going to community college, and then I'm going to try to transfer over to a university of some sort. The next question is if I do any fun extracurriculars. I don't really now that I'm in college because with all my free time, I want free time. I'm either working or I'm making videos or doing book blog stuff or hanging out with friends. I don't really have time to do extracurriculars. But when I was in high school a few years ago, I took 4 years of glass art and I was president of the art club. So I'm not particularly artsy, I'm more craftsy. Next question. If you could live in another country, what country would it be? Well, I live in the United States right now and I live around Seattle, so I love Washington rainy weather. I love it to death. So I would probably move somewhere like Scotland where it's really cloudy and gloomy and rainy and the weather is really similar to here. Next question. If you wrote a book, what would be one name you would like to use for a character? Well, fun fact, I am actually kind of trying to write a book right now. I really love to write and I've been writing stories and books since I was really, really young. So right now I've kind of recently gotten more into a story idea. And the main character's name is Talia. Okay, next question is, any books you hate or won't read? Not really. I try to give every book a chance. I usually won't read anything nonfiction, and I usually tend to stay more in the young adult genre. That's not set. I definitely read some adult books I really, really like. Next question. If you can be any type of villain, which villain would you be? I'm gonna go off of type here, not which villain specifically. I would probably want to be one of those villains that doesn't feel remorse. I would want to be ultimate evil past the point of redemption. That sounds weird, But I feel like if I'm gonna be a villain, I want to be an all-out villain. I feel like I would have the most fun as that, like a Bellatrix Lestrange sort of villain. Like, I'm just gone, and I'm just evil for the sake of being evil. If you could have an endless supply of food, what would it be? Oh my gosh. Okay. I love food. Like, I live in a foodie household. My dad was a chef for a long time, and he loves to cook, and I really like food. Like, we like food a lot. And I am a huge, like, pasta girl. I love anything pasta at all. So I would probably, like, live off pasta for the rest of my life and eat it all the time if I could. Next question is, where do you live? As I stated before, I live near Seattle, Washington. Next question is, what is your favorite and least favorite trend in young adult fiction? Least favorite, off the top of my head, probably has to be love triangles. That's like the worst thing to ever become a trend. If the situation calls for it and actually makes sense, go right ahead. But I am so tired of forced love triangles just for the sake of, like, drama and having a love triangle. I hate that so much. My favorite trend probably is gonna be, like, strong heroines. I mean, I love male point of view characters. I have absolutely nothing against them. But I really like that, like, having a strong female main character is something that's really coming in, like, full force. I like that a lot, and I think you can have a lot of variety with what actually is the definition of a strong female character. It doesn't mean that they have to be kick-ass and, like, crazy like Selena Sardothien. It could be somebody who's super compassionate and kind and has a big heart, and I feel like it leaves a lot of room up to, like, what you think they could be, and I like that a lot. What kind of music do you listen to? Okay, I'm a bit of a hipster with my music. I kind of listen to just about everything. I enjoy more, like, instrumental stuff, and I actually listen to, like, movie soundtracks a lot, like the Lord of the Rings soundtrack. Holy cow. And, like, I'll listen to Harry Potter soundtracks and stuff. Like, I like that a lot too. Next question is, what is the first book that made you realize you love reading? Usually I associate, like, the beginning of my love of reading with Harry Potter, because it was really, like, the first series that I really got into as a kid, and it just, like, opened my eyes to the world of books. I would probably say Harry Potter, or also I read The Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket when I was in elementary school. I remember that specifically, and I loved those books. I thought they were amazing. The next question is, would you prefer to read only series or standalones? Definitely series. I can't even think of really any standalones that I love as much as most of the series that I read. Which book character can you relate the most to? In full honesty, I can relate pretty well to Hermione. A majority of my friends are idiotic guys, and I am, like, the only girl in the group, so I constantly have to be the one that, like, thinks things through, and I have to be responsible and kind of like the mother figure, and I'm definitely kind of Hermione on the inside, and I totally understand where a majority of her frustration comes from, but also, like, why she loves her friends so much. Next question is, what are some of your favorite TV shows? I really love Game of Thrones. I'm super, super into Game of Thrones. I also watch The Walking Dead. I feel like I'm one of the few people that still watches The Walking Dead, but I do. I love it. Also, I am a huge Doctor Who fan. I love everything about Doctor Who so much. It's, like, my favorite show of all time. I am also watching Teen Wolf right now, although I haven't watched the new season. And I just recently watched Attack on Titan, and I am so in love with it. I'm gonna qualify it as a TV show, because, I mean, I watched the first season, and there's supposed to be a second season coming out sometime. Next is, what is your favorite genre to read? Fantasy, probably. I'm not gonna, like, discriminate. I'm gonna, like, do adult, young adult fantasy, any sort of fantasy, and in the fantasy genre, I'm gonna, like, allow, like, subgenres, like, kind of like paranormal fantasy, supernatural fantasy. So probably fantasy, or I'll just even go with young adult. I really love young adult too, obviously. Next question is, what is one of your favorite aspects a book can have? Probably a really good villain. I think a lot of things nowadays suffer from, like, ridiculous, like, underdeveloped villains, and I really don't like that. I think that's a huge problem with a lot of like superhero movies nowadays and young adult books, is villains are really not given the attention they deserve. So when I read a book with a really great villain, that is something that really just brings the book up for me. Next question is, what is your favorite love triangle out of all the love triangles in existence? I actually thought long and hard about this one because it stumped me right when I read it, and I can't really think of one off the top of my head that I genuinely loved. So for me, I'm going to go with kind of the Selena, Dorian, Kale love triangle from Throne of Glass. And I really like it because to me, it feels like when she's with one guy, even though the other guy really likes her, he loves the other guy so much, like bro love, that he just wants him to be happy. So even though they both want Selena, they both want the other guy to be happy with her. So I just like that. It's such a like circle of love. Okay, it's a triangle of love, excuse me. But I like that. I like that a lot. Next question is, if you can live in any world of any book, which would it be? Harry Potter. Like, after Voldemort, Harry Potter. Next question is my least favorite book series. I don't know. Usually if I don't like the first book, I won't continue a series. Off the top of my head recently, I might have to go with the Selection series. And don't hate me for that, but I mean, I read all of them, so obviously part of it pulled me in, but I read all of it just because I was kind of hoping, like, it would end badly. That sounds really horrible, but I hated America. Oh my goodness, I hated her. She was so back and forth between guys and just made the worst decisions ever. And I was kind of like keeping my fingers crossed that at the end, like, the guys just left her and hooked up or something, like just left her behind in the dust because she deserved it. So I don't know, that's the most recent series I can think of that I finished and actively disliked. Next question is, do you have a book you did not enjoy at first, but when you read it again, you loved it? I actually would probably have to go with Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, I believe is how you say your last name. I read that book years ago, probably my aunt gave it to me, and I read it and I just kind of was like, bleh, you know, but I felt like I had to read it because my aunt gave it to me, but it really was not my cup of tea, and it was kind of strange and, you know, whatever. But I just reread it recently in the last probably 6 months or so, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. Next question is, do you think so many situations of a girl character choosing between two guys, so love triangles, empowers girls of today or teaches them that the biggest choice in their lives will be about which man they want? I really like this question. I like that this is like a thoughtful question. I think both. I think having constant love triangles kind of creates unrealistic expectations for young girls. I remember personally when I had my first boyfriend and I found out that another guy liked me, I almost wanted them to like fight over me, because to me, like, love triangles were the thing. And if one of them proved their love more and fought harder for me than true love, you know, just, I had a weird sort of view of that situation because love triangles are such a common thing that's like people really like nowadays and young girls are really into. So I feel like there's definitely a negative aspect, and it definitely does kind of teach girls that, hey, in the middle of this huge life-changing adventure, you know, whatever the book's about, something probably important, here is what you're actually focusing on, this love triangle romance, which makes me kind of sad because I feel like a lot of people are missing out on really good stories and kind of giving that up, knowing that young girls today are going to be more invested in the romance. Next question is, which book changed your life for real? This one actually, when I was in my first few years of high school, maybe, I read 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, I think. And if you haven't read that book, it's about a girl that dies and she leaves behind tapes that she has sent to people that are the 13 reasons why she killed herself. And this book, to me, should be like required school reading. I read it and it really just kind of opened my eyes to how we affect people in our lives. It really made me change my way of thinking with how I treat people and how people should be treated and just the effect of your actions. And I thought that book was fantastic. Next question is, what book or books have made you cry? Okay, just about every book that I get really into. I am a huge baby when it comes to books. Next question is, which book made you want to read for fun more? So actually, Twilight. I kind of was in a reading slump, like, in my end of elementary to middle school years, you know, because reading wasn't really cool. And I picked up Twilight when I was in 7th grade, maybe 8th grade, and I read it, and I loved it. I will admit it, I loved Twilight. I thought it was just amazing. And then it kind of reopened my passion, and I started getting really, really back into reading, and it was fun to me. I'd forgotten how much I loved it. Next question is, what Hogwarts house are you in? I am a Ravenclaw. And what is the first book you ever read? I genuinely don't know. Probably some baby book that my parents taught me to read. Next question is, who is your favorite author? I don't have a favorite author. It really depends on what I'm in the mood to read. I read so many great books by so many different authors, I could not pick. Next question is, if you were a crayon, what color would you be? Blue? Maybe? Because I like blue. I feel like I would either be blue, like a nice, you know, average color, like a sparkly blue. There we go. I'm a sparkly blue. Like average color with a little bit of sparkle and sass and fun to it. Like, I like blue. Sparkly blue it is. What is the book you hated that everyone else loved? I'm probably gonna have to go with Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I really love Jennifer L. Armentrout, and I heard so much stuff about Obsidian, and I hated it. I hated Damon, or whatever his name was. He was such a jerk, like a huge jerk, and it just ruined the series for me. I probably will never read it. Next question is, how old are you? I am 20 years old. And the last question for part 1 of my Q&A is, what else do you and your friends do besides read? Actually, none of my friends really read. Mostly we game. We're all kind of like PC gamer nerds. I do that in my free time. Not as hardcore as the rest of them because I read. And we all really like watching movies. Like, we're all huge fantasy, like, sci-fi nerds, so we constantly have, like, oh, Lord of the Rings marathon, oh, Star Wars marathon, oh, Sci-Fi Channel original movie marathon. We just kind of, I don't know, we just kind of hang out and do whatever we want, I guess. Alright, you guys, so that is all for part 1 of my Q&A. I will be posting a part 2 sometime soon, probably. I'm still amazed by how many questions I got, so thank you to everybody that submitted a question. I'm having tons of fun with this. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.